Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Monday, November 17th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith will be joined by Perlo in a moment as well, ready to break down the Monday NHL card. We'll get to that in a moment. Just very quickly on yesterday, Vancouver, we got in on them against Tampa Bay when we found out that Quinn Hughes was going to play. Johansson was confirmed in net. I put it on the Patreon page. It's all we always say, check the Patreon page when we're unsure of how we're going to move. And it was a good decision to get on Vancouver after a bad first period. They turned it up, and they ended up winning going away against the Tampa Bay Lightning yesterday. So it was good to have a piece of the Canucks there. Money line and team total over split in that game in the 6-2 win. Of course, yesterday morning, we mentioned it, Pittsburgh beat Nashville in the Sweden game 4-0. Minnesota, 3-2 win in overtime against the Vegas Golden Knights as they get the job done in that one. Detroit with a 2-1 win against the New York Rangers. I had a small piece of the Red Wings here at the plus price just because of the spot, coming off the brutal loss against Buffalo, that they'd be the team I'd rather have than laying the price with the Rangers back home where they've struggled after a win against Columbus. What an ending there with Jonathan Quick getting all upset, shot the puck into the open net after the game and off the almost a full-on Donnybrook there, and a complete and utter just bench brawl there right at the end of that game. Brought back memories of the 80s and 90s, for people like me and Alex that are old enough to remember that era of hockey. It was pretty funny to see it just get that heated at the end between the Red Wings and Rangers last night. And then the Avalanche beat the Islanders 4-1. Disappointing to lose the full game over. Islanders, although it wasn't all bad, we had Emil Heineman for a bargain bin. Now, it's interesting that Brock Nelson, I was hearing things that they took the goal away from him late, but from what I see, it paid out my Brock Nelson goal prop, even if that did get changed. So it's hard to say whether I should count that as a bargain bin winner, but we did. I got the money. I didn't get the money coming out back. So Brock Nelson, as far as I'm concerned, we cashed that prop too. At the end with his goal. So to get the 2 out of 3 was great with the bargain bin. 4-1 Colorado. You could see the Islanders kind of ran out of steam toward the end of that game as well. It's been a decent-sized road trip for the Islanders. They played the back-to-back with Vegas, Utah, and now playing last night. You could see they just didn't have their legs the later that game went. Alex, your thoughts on what we saw Sunday?
Yeah, it was like I said, that game was certainly interesting. Like I said, with the bargain bin hits, and like I said, I waited until about maybe 2 a.m. to finally cut the clip because I saw where NHL app still had it listed as Nelson. Like I said, you can clearly see on the replay that it was Nelson. So, great job by you. And you called it. You said you felt like you could at least get 2 out of 3 of those. And certainly, had those chances. And I even took a shot. Like I said, I bet them individually, but had him in a parlay, a point parlay, and a goal parlay. So close to hitting that with Drew in. Had he even gotten the point, would have come through in cash. But that's something to look at, and maybe more so toward the playoffs, where you can stack up some of these goal scorers, especially when you got a guy like Heineman who's just been on an absolute tear right now. When you're back in guys with those kind of trends. But interesting night of action, like you said. A Detroit-New York game. Was really upset to see that goal come in late. That game just had to feel like it was going to be going into overtime. It was good pace back and forth. Both teams had plenty of chances in that third period too to finally take the lead. But you got Detroit jumping out, and once again another Ranger loss at home, and a game where you 1 goal or fewer at home. That's got to be frustrating for that group after having the success that they've had on the road and finally getting that offense going away from home, to not be able to get that going in Madison Square Garden. But it was a lot of fun seeing how that ended, though. It would have been nice to maybe see some old-time fisticuffs and stuff. I'm sure the league office was probably up in arms seeing that, because, of course, this is the last thing they want to have is everybody clearing the bench and going after it. But it was fitting, too. Both teams wearing the 100th anniversary throwbacks, which looked fantastic on ice. Something that the league needs to do more often. Okay, we know the difference between red and blue, and unless you were colorblind, you probably enjoyed watching those two teams in those wonderful sweaters going back and forth with one another. I would love to see that happen more often. Let's see some of the great sweaters of the games. We don't always have to have one team wearing white, one team wearing a color, especially when you have such great jerseys around the league.
No doubt. Yeah, like I said, that was brought back days of yesterday, seeing the fur fly at the end of that Red Wings and Rangers game. Monday, let's get to it. Carolina, Boston. We got Carolina minus 190, road favorites, 6.5 the total, 6 in some spots. So make sure you shop around. And that's important to note because once I saw the total drop to 6, I jumped on over in this game. We've talked about how the Hurricanes have suddenly transformed into an over team, playing faster, scoring more goals, and the need to score more goals because of the defensive liabilities that they've got going on, namely Jacob Slavin's absence for the Carolina Hurricanes. So Boston and Carolina have both been trending, more toward high-scoring hockey. I believe we might see Brandon Bussey get the start tonight for the Hurricanes. He's expected to be in net. Jeremy Swayman confirmed for the Bruins. The Bruins could have easily given up 6 goals against Montreal. Montreal had just a ton of chances. And, if not for Swayman and a lot of great shot blocking and by the Bruins, they probably wouldn't have won that game, and the game would have went over the total. But now you lose Charlie McAvoy, your best defenseman on that blue line. You're already without Elias Lindholm. If you're the Bruins as well up front, you're without McAvoy now on the back end. That's concerning a bit for the Bruins. I definitely like the over 6 in this game. I also like Carolina team total here. I think this is a good bounce back spot. Remember, they had a tough back-to-back. They lost to Edmonton. I think definitely Carolina team total is definitely something I'm interested in as well, along with the over. I know the draw has been something else right now in the NHL, and even the draws we're losing, such as the one Alex had with Red Wings Rangers. We're losing by this close on a lot of the losses we're incurring with the draws. That's how strong it's been. It's not a lot of the draws that we're losing that are coming close. They have certainly almost gotten there. So, and as Jonathan says, there you go, 4 goals or more in the 11 of the 12 games Carolina has won this year. So, yeah, full game over, Canes team total over for me. Alex, what do you think here, Carolina, Boston?
Yeah, I like that Canes team total over, but I'm going to go first period over. Now, I bet this earlier at minus 135 at Caesars. I think I've seen this move now everywhere to where it's 140 or higher. So at this point, I would wait and grab something in game, try and get something closer to minus $1.20, $1.25. So I think a couple minutes into the contest, you should be able to get that. I don't expect any goals super duper fast in this one, but I think this could be a good spot, especially if it's Brandon Bussey. 4-1 record. He's been very sharp in net for Carolina. So I feel like they could definitely get the win there. And like I said, rather than laying a big price or even going regulation, I don't have a draw here, but I don't necessarily like Carolina regulation. I feel more comfortable backing them with the team total.
All right, good stuff there. As far as props, I'm going with Marat Husnudinov again for Boston. Up on that top line, scored last game for the Bruins. Still good value as far as him playing with Geekie and Pasternak for them. One thing I want to make note of, too, is they've got Carolina, a little bit of a shuffle going on with just as far as the blue line, of course. Walker and Gostisbehere, Miller, and Nystrom's actually up on the second pairing right now for them going into this game. Jackson Blake has certainly had some good looks. Maybe that could be something to look at as far as a prop for the Carolina Hurricanes on their side. But certainly I like Husnudinov, the value and the fact he's been contributing since being pushed up to the top line by head coach Marco Sturm. Edmonton, Buffalo. We've got Edmonton minus 160, road favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. The Buffalo Sabres, let's give them some credit. Dismal run it had been. They had lost 5 in a row. It had been a rough road trip, Carolina, Utah, Colorado. They were down 4-1 to Detroit. Looks like another loss and losing all 5 on the road trip. And then to come back and win that game, you got to give them a little credit. We shit on the Sabres too much. We got to give them credit when they do something well. And when they show some guts, they show some heart, and they come back the way they did against Detroit. That was real damn impressive. Well done by the Buffalo Sabres. Tage Thompson played I think one of his better games. Just watch the replay of him just steamrolling the Detroit player, setting up Samuelson for the game-winning goal. That was great to see, no question about that for Buffalo. A little gumption, as Darren Pang would say, to come back and beat the Detroit Red Wings in that game. I also think, as Real Deal Power, our resident Sabre fan in our chat says, I think Dahlin coming back from his little absence for the Sabres was something that galvanized them a little bit too. And they even said it after the game against Detroit that we kind of wanted to come back and win this one with Rasmus Dahlin and some issues personally back home, which is why he left the team, rejoining the team for that game. You know, we wanted to kind of win that for our captain, and sure enough, they did. Buffalo, maybe a springboard of momentum. Now, I don't love these spots at home off a road trip, but if you look at Edmonton, this is going to be for them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to be their fourth game in 6 nights, all on the road. And look at what they've done against Buffalo in Buffalo. It's been bad. They have really struggled here. Buffalo is 4-1 in the last 5 times they've hosted Edmonton. This has been a problematic spot and location. KeyBank Center, they haven't been able to unlock the door with that key, Edmonton. Not in this building. Losing 4 of the last 5 times they've made the trip to Buffalo. This could be actually a live home dog potentially tonight. The only concern is coming off the road are the legs there, is the gas in the tank. But at this price, I'm willing to give Buffalo a shot, plus 140. And I like this draw. I definitely think draw potential with the Oilers, Sabres, Edmonton. I mean, look at the overtime games. We keep on saying it. 9 games. And they have gone to overtime or a shootout 6 of their last 9 games. They have just been a massive draw team. Buffalo, of course, went to overtime at the end of the trip against Detroit. 3 of their last 4 home games for the Buffalo Sabres before this road trip they went on. 3 of their last 4 home games went past regulation against Columbus, Washington, and Utah. So I like this draw quite. It's probably my favorite draw tonight on this card. So Buffalo draw split. Lean over. I'm going to wait for a better number live. Alex, Oilers, Sabres.
I actually took a shot with this team total over 3.5 with the Oilers. Like I said, it's been a rough series for them, but against Buffalo. But I feel like there could be goals in this spot, and so I'm right there with you on that. Over by Fecta, waiting for that in game. But I grabbed a minus 118. Thought that was a little cheap to get that over 3.5 with the Oilers. I feel like this could be back and forth, and I feel like this may be a spot where the Oilers could take advantage of the Sabres coming home. Colton Ellis getting the start. He has won 2 of his first 3 starts, but I still think he's a bit shaky. So this would be one. I took a shot with the draw as well. So maybe a 4-4 correct score, 3-3 correct score, dabble as well. But this feels like it could be a back and forth kind of a game, but the Oilers could get their offense rolling. So maybe it would be kind of a wake up call for Buffalo. Like I said, a team where they played well against Edmonton, and we've seen Edmonton kind of struggle against these mid-major, below major teams. So it just feels like it's a good spot to maybe take a shot. Team total for safety, but going with the draw and looking for overs in game.
All right. Prop-wise, 2 props stand out. Revenge night for former players against their old team. We got 1 on each side. Matt Savoy, a young Sabre prospect drafted by the Sabres but traded away last year. Now on the top line for Edmonton. I think Matthew Savoy going back to Buffalo, worth a look. Goal prop. And the other one is, of course, for Buffalo, Ryan McLeod, the former Oiler, who actually scored in his last game against Detroit for the Buffalo Sabres. So Ryan McLeod for Buffalo, Matt Savoy for Edmonton. Both of those guys facing their old team tonight in this game. Those are definitely some props I like here as far as the goal props tonight. By the way, Draisaitl and Thompson are on 2-game goal streaks. Josh Doan might be worth a look because you're still getting good prices with him. In that plus 300 range for Buffalo. Like I said, this is now be the second game for Zach Hyman back in the lineup, and he's on that top line with McDavid and Savoy. So like I said, Hyman's starting to get more and more comfortable, I'm sure, as each game goes on. And as Alex mentioned, Colton Ellis and Skinner going to be your goaltending matchup here in this one tonight. All right, Vancouver, Florida. We've got Florida minus 280 home favorites, 6.5 the total here in this game tonight. Over 6 for me. 9 straight Vancouver games over the total. We've got another team streaking over the total right now, and that's Vancouver. 9 straight Canucks games have gone over the total. I'm on the over here as a result. Yuri Patera could get the start because keep in mind Kevin Lankinen played yesterday in Tampa. Not going to see him tonight. Thatcher Demko's still out. That leaves Yuri Patera and some marginal numbers in the past to be the goaltender here for Vancouver tonight. And he's got an .894 save percentage and an above 3 goals against in the AHL this season, which isn't very good. So this is definitely going to be riding the overs here with Vancouver. I think Florida, too, after a 3-1 loss to Tampa, the onus is get the offense going here in this game tonight for the Florida Panthers. They will be, it looks like, without Eetu Kuhlman Luostarinen. He's going to miss this game. So there's going to be some shuffling going on. Mackie Samoskevich looks to be the guy that Paul Maurice has tabbed to fill the spot left by Luostarinen's absence. And Samoskevich with Lundell and Marchand. So got to bet Samoskevich and that value that we're going to see with him up on that line with Marchand tonight for the Florida Panthers. Yes, how about that? Mackenzie McEachern, fourth-line player for the Canucks, and he scores twice yesterday against Tampa. Well, if you want to ride the wave, I wouldn't argue with that. Now, keep in mind, he's down on the fourth line. Do we expect him to score routinely? Probably not. But you can't argue with what we saw, obviously, yesterday for the Vancouver Canucks, and you're getting 12-1 on a guy like McEachern. Even Drew O'Connor's worth a look. He started to pick things up, and he's scored against Florida in the past. So those are a few props, and like I said, on the Florida side, definitely going to take Mackey tonight as he jumps up to the line with Lundell and Marchand for the Florida Panthers. Alex, what do you think here, Vancouver, Florida?
So this one's a pass for me pregame. If I look for anything, it'll be overs in game. And like I said, it's mostly predicated on do we see Yuri Patera in that. And someone said in the chat, his numbers in the AHL aren't really anything spectacular. 5 games with Abbotsford, a 1-2-1 record with 310 goals against average, .894 save percentage. Now, we always say this with goaltenders who are in the Pacific Division in the AHL. Their numbers tend to be a bit inflated because we tend to see higher scoring within those division battles. But still, like I said, when you add that into the already kind of a streak going on, the only thing you can look would be overs. It's definitely not a game I'm rushing to grab it under 6.5 with. So if I look for an over, it'll be in game. Try and get a better price. Otherwise, there's a pass for me on the short card.
All right, good stuff indeed. And as I mentioned, I think some of those props in this game that I mentioned earlier are definitely going to be worth it. There he is, better late than never, our guy who's with us Mondays and Wednesdays. That's okay. It's all good. It's all good, Perlo. No problem. No doubt.
Okay.
Hey, it happens. I'm just glad you have the emergencies, not me, when it comes to personal stuff. Good stuff. But what do you think here, Perlo? What do you like, if anything, here with this game, Vancouver and Florida?
Yeah, I was listening to you on the way in here. I was happy to hear that you're on the same thing as I am with the over. I got this at a 5.5 right when it came out, so I took the over. I just can't help but not take overs here with Vancouver. I didn't put a lot on it. Vancouver's in a pretty difficult spot here after that Tampa Bay game. I was trying to find a way to get something on Florida here, but at minus 280, it's pretty tough to do. I do like the draw. I do like the first period for Florida puck line. I'm going to take a little bit on that, but as a whole, my favorite here is probably a prop, and that I put it in the chat and I said that I couldn't find it, but I finally did find it over at Bet Rivers. Pettersson has not had over 1.5 shots in 12 straight. And I think they're going to have a difficult time getting shots in Florida here. So I guess I'm talking myself into Florida team total over. If it's going to be an over, I think Florida is going to get most of them. I wanted to go with Vancouver team total over because they have been going over a lot. I just think this is going to be a tough game for them. They've got Garland in? Did anybody hear that if Garland's in?
Garland is he's in. He's playing. Yep.
He's playing? Okay.
Or is he? Oh, he's
yeah.
Actually, no, wait a minute. Game time decision, actually.
Game time decision, yeah.
So
we'll that's a lot of offense out of there. So I'm going to go mainly with that Pettersson team total under and the over for the game and a little bit on the draw, but that's basically it on this one.
Good stuff. All right, on we go. We've got LA and Washington. We've got Washington minus 115, home favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. I one of the things I dreaded when I saw obviously the lineups and the goalie confirmations, I really wanted Washington in this spot. I really did. The Kings are rolling along nicely on this road trip, and they're playing great. It's not easy to fade LA right now. They've been good on this road trip. Beat Toronto, beat Ottawa, beat Montreal. They've had a great road trip. They've been amazing on the road, this Kings team. But I felt that with rolling along and facing Washington, who've now lost a couple in a row, and Washington with rest at home, they've won in these spots before, off losses. I was ready to take Washington here in this spot. Then I saw Charlie Lindgren in net, and I'm like, well, he hasn't had a great year. The numbers haven't been great for Lindgren when he started in net, and it got me off Washington. I wanted to take Washington in this spot, but just couldn't do it. Maybe I'll see live how it looks, how Lindgren looks, how the game plays out. Maybe if the Kings get a lead, maybe I'll get a plus number with Washington, and then I'll bet them. But at minus 115 with Lindgren in net, even with my concerns, and plus Kings lost Drew Doughty, got injured against Ottawa. He's going to be out long term. Now, again, this is not Drew Doughty in his absolute prime, but all the minutes he plays in every situation and on that top pair with Mikey Anderson. And now you got to go with Brian Dumoulin on that top pair. He's had a nice career, Brian Dumoulin. But again, I don't like him at all in a top pairing at this stage of his career. So that's a bit of a concern and issue moving forward for the Kings. As far as now, they got Dumoulin with Mikey Anderson on that top pair with the injury to Drew Doughty. Of course, Washington didn't have John Carlson the other night, so they got their own key blue liner missing, may not play tonight. And, of course, PLD remains out. So initially I leaned Washington. Now it's probably a pass for me. I had a mild lean to the draw, but I don't like it enough to bet it. There's been no history of these teams head-to-head going to overtime. Alex, what do you think here? LA, Washington.
Yeah, I do have the draw on this one, plus 340, but like you said, it's the weakest of the four. The ones, if I had to rank them 1 to 4, this would be number 1 at the bottom for sure. But I do have a bargain bin play that I like quite a bit in this spot.
Good stuff. Perlo, Kings Capitals.
I have a bargain bin in this one too, and I bet you it's going to be the same.
Is it the same one? Stay tuned.
We'll find out. But for all the reasons you said, I mean, LA's the reason why I liked Washington is I found out that, or at least I believe to be, I have a good enough reason to believe that when Kempe got that contract, he brought his parents to Ottawa. He didn't bring them to Toronto. He brought them to Ottawa, probably before he got that contract. I have a feeling that Kempe took these LA guys out. They've been having a great run. And they had a little time before this Washington game. So I think they were out before this game coming up. And I was with you. I was on the Capitals too, but they played terrible in front of Lindgren. I don't think it's Lindgren so bad. It's just they played terrible in front of them. Yeah. My personal think of that is because Thompson is like a sergeant. He demands his team to play well in front of him to the point where he can be a prick, apparently, according to DeBoer and a guy like that don't want him on Team Canada for that reason. And I think when Lindgren gets there, they kind of exhale and breathe and forget how to play. So I'm going to take the over in this game. I like the over 5.5. And this is sort of an in case thing because, okay, LA has been playing really well on the road. They, like I said, it's possible they went out before this, but I don't think they need much more than 20 or 23 shots to get three past Lindgren, the way Washington plays in front of them. So I took a little bit on the team total over for LA. At over 2.5 at minus 140 and over 3 at plus 110. Also have the draw on this one. This is a weird game. There's one place where I do think the Capitals have an advantage here because if I'm right about what LA might have been, kind of loose coming into this game, feeling kind of fat and sassy and enjoying life and everything, I will take the Capitals first period. Puck line at plus 154 and first period. After that, I think it could go back and forth in this one. And I may get on Washington team total over as well. Like I like this way over. This over might be more even before I started talking to you guys more than I thought. Like I think I really like the over in this game.
All right, really like an over 5 with Lindgren in net, and it is only 5.5. I will say that.
Yeah, it's only a 5.5.
It's only a 5.5. So Perlo liking goals here with
this
the,
may be a good game to bet both teams to score 3 or more goals too. You can get plus price with that.
Certainly get a good price for that.
Something like that. Yeah, I could see exact score 3-3. I do kind of like the draw because the Capitals haven't been like I don't really trust them. I do have I took McMichael for a goal here. He's on that top line at plus 370. Ovechkin's potting finally.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the McMichael look with Strome and Ovechkin. Definitely, I think we saw technical issues right now with our guy Perlo, but I agree with him with McMichael.
So, if he's starting to go, I got and Chychrun over shots. That's a big one. Chychrun over shots. He's been going over shots. You can get it at minus 120. Beautiful price for a guy. They don't have Carlson, and they have 2 plugs up the middle with Soref and what's that other guy's name? I can't remember. But they're not very good as centers. So the wingers don't have anybody to pass to. So they'll be going back to the point. I really like that Chychrun over shots.
There you go. Jacob Chychrun. I agree with that. He's going to get more usage. Yep. McMichael goal prop. I like that. For the Los Angeles Kings, I also right now he's feeling it with Fiala. That line's been really good. Laferriere, Byfield, Fiala. Laferriere's on a 4-game point streak. He's also scored goals in back-to-back games for the Kings. So Alex Laferriere, the man from not Quebec, from New Jersey, to find the back of the net for the LA Kings as well. I think that's also worth a look here in this game. Our good friend, a good friend of Ryan Robinson, I should say, Alex Laferriere. I don't know if they're close friends, but played against him. I know back in the day did Ryan. That's the Ryan Robinson connection to Alex Laferriere. All right, next up, we've got Montreal and Columbus. Columbus minus 130, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. This feels like that classic Montreal can't buy a win at home, get on the road and get it done spot. Like Vegas, right? Didn't we see Vegas struggle at home? They go on the road, they beat St. Louis to start their road trip that first game. That's what this feels like to me. So I feel like I want to take Montreal here, plus 110. Dobish is in net for them. Jakob Dobish for the Canadians, and Jet Greaves going to get the start here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Of course, the 9-game over streak has come to an end for Montreal. It got snapped in that 3-2 loss to Boston on Saturday night. So I think I'm going to pump the brakes on the overs for one night here with Montreal, even though the last 2 meetings have gone over between these 2 teams. But I think I might stay off that tonight. But I think I like Montreal here taking a shot in this spot with them. They do have a good road record, 5-2-1 entering tonight. Columbus is coming off a 2-1 shootout loss to the New York Rangers on Saturday night. So they'll be looking to bounce back too. But, this is a spot too. Montreal, they won in Columbus last year. They've actually won in Columbus 3 straight times as well. So I think Montreal plus 110 worth a shot here, in my opinion. This is a draw I'm going to take a shot with as well. Montreal continues to be pretty damn close to overtime in almost every game. I know they had the 2 blowouts with Dallas and LA, those 2 losses, and the Utah win. But outside of that, we had a 1-goal game with Boston. They've also been a good road draw magnet. At New Jersey goes to overtime. At Seattle goes to overtime. So the draw to me is live here in this game as well. The Jackets, overtime or a shootout in 3 of their last 4 games overall. And head-to-head, the game in Columbus last year, Habs and Jackets went to overtime. So, yeah, draw, flag, indicators everywhere that make the draw worth a shot here in this one. Alex, what do you think? Habs, Jackets?
Yeah, I like this draw too. And I also grabbed over 6 earlier at a minus $1.20. Those are pretty much all gone. They're now 6.5. So wait in game, try and grab a 6 if you can, back at a minus 120, 125 price. And I want to take the Habs here plus $1.10, but something's just telling me that this could be a back and forth game. Just stick with the draw and just kind of ride that out. So maybe I jump in game and grab a side live, lean with Habs, should win this contest, but I feel like the draw is the best bet of the game here.
I'm going to start looking at this more and more. I see a team going on the road for their first game on the road on a road trip after a bad homestand, and see how they do. Because I find that's a bet on spot for teams. It was with Vegas, coming off the bad homestand and then going to St. Louis on Saturday and winning that first road game. I'm going to see how that angle performs moving forward when I see it. And that's in effect here. Bad homestand, blown out by LA, blown out by Dallas, and then, of course, lose to Boston. But now you're going on the road, and I expect greater focus, business trip, when you get away from home. So we'll see how it does. But all of that's got me leaning to Montreal here. Perlo, what do you think? Montreal, Columbus.
Yeah, really interesting game. I agree with you on that. In most cases, I go with a team that is in Montreal's spot here. The thing is, if you're going to go with Montreal in a spot like this, I think you just got to go the over. I don't think Canadians are shutting anybody down. Dobish isn't playing very well. So if you like them, I'd go. I got this as again. Like this was a 6 right away, and it's just gone way up to 6.5. That scares me a little bit, the way that's been flying up like that. But I do have a little bit on Montreal. But what I like is the first periods here. Columbus is coming off a game against the Rangers where they were just ass in the first period. They were terrible. They actually was one of the few times I think Columbus just wasn't good all game. They didn't have energy. Now, we know these spots are bad for teams where they come off a road and they get a win, and then the second one you want to fade them. But I don't remember too many times Columbus looking like that. So I think they're going to at least be coming out hot here. Edison's going to have them, I want to see energy today. So, and Montreal coming off those 2 losses, they for sure will be doing the same. So I like over 1.5 first period here. I got it at minus 135 before. It's probably too high. But if you want to wait in game, go ahead to do that. See if you can get a better price. I also like both teams to score first period here quite a bit. That's probably my favorite play in this game. I also lean Montreal to win first period. So like 2-1, something like this. I think Montreal will get the first period here coming off those 3 losses. Columbus will come out hard, but I just think they're going to have a little more urgency. Columbus, after this, goes off to Winnipeg. They're on the road. They're on the road after this. I mean, that's not really a look ahead spot in any way. If anything, it's gosh, we got to go to Winnipeg spot. This is 2 road trips that they've made out west, and they haven't touched San Jose, Anaheim, or LA. So it's kind of a funny spot that way. Montreal, I believe, has a game right after this as well. So I like to draw quite a bit here. I think this is where we're looking at. Like we're looking at a 3-3 draw, and Montreal wins in overtime because the Columbus Blue Jackets are wishing that didn't go into overtime because they got to get on a plane and go to Winnipeg. So I'm going to take something like that. I will put a little bit on Montreal, and I'll take Mr. Caulfield to get a goal in overtime in this game.
I thought for sure Montreal was starting a road trip. That's not the case after tonight. I'm just seeing it now. They actually go home and play Washington at home on Thursday.
It's not starting the trip, yeah.
And then Saturday at home against Toronto for Hockey Night in Canada, and then they go back on the road after that at Utah. So this is just a 1-game road trip, and then they go back home.
If bargain bin is the same bargain bin, I have a bargain bin in this one too. So
all right, there we go. So that's 2 bargain bins now for Perlo for the Monday slate. Yeah, I agree with what Jonathan's saying about Bolduc moving up. That makes sense. There's probably some good value there as far as he is concerned going into this game. Marchenko's on an 11-game point streak, by the way, for the Columbus Blue Jackets, if you're keeping track of that. Werenski on a 2-game point streak for the Jackets as well. I'm going to go with Shinikov tonight as far as finding the back of the net. Yegor Shinikov, he scored in 40% of games against Montreal, and he's plus 450, and he's up on the second line now for Columbus. So I think with Yegor Shinikov, there is a little bit of value tonight for the Jackets. All right, last game, Utah, Anaheim. This is the only late game. There's one West Coast late game tonight, and this is it. Utah, Anaheim. We've got Utah -115, road favorite, 6.5 the total. This price is just, I'm being tortured by this price because I want to back Anaheim so badly at this price. But they're off the road trip, first game home. They're not playing well. They're finally in a little bit of a slump. I feel I might pump the brakes and just pass. I lean Anaheim, but I feel I'm going to pass. I'm going to let them win before I start betting them again. That's kind of what I've decided with the Anaheim Ducks right now. Because look, they have hit their first little. I don't want to say it's not a massive losing streak or reason for panic. They're still in a great spot. They've still had a great start to the year, but they have lost 3 in a row to Colorado, Detroit, and Minnesota. It's 4-1 to Colorado, 6-3 to Detroit. They got shut out 2-0 by Minnesota on Saturday to end the road trip. Now back home. Utah off the 3-2 loss to the Islanders, but they've been off since that Thursday game, or Friday game rather, against the Islanders, looking to start this mini little 2-game road trip on the right track. The problem is for Utah, they're meandering 5-6 on the road. They haven't played great hockey on the road. Anaheim's 5-1 at home. So like I said, I want to take Anaheim, but I want to see them win a game before I jump back on the Ducks bandwagon again. And I'm still a fan of this team, and they've had a great start, but I feel not yet am I ready to jump back on Anaheim. Here, I'll tell you what I am ready to jump on in this game. I really like this first period over in this game. You've got Utah. They haven't played since Friday. That loss to the Islanders. I think they're going to come out wanting to prove a point and get off to a good start. Sure as hell, Anaheim's going to want to get off to a good start. They just got shut out and went 0-3 to finish that road trip. So, they're going to want to come out flying back on home ice. And I went and looked. Feels like Anaheim scored more goals, and they've been in a lot of higher scoring games at home. That's true. And the first period over in particular is 5-1 in Anaheim's 6 home games this year. So 5 of the 6 Anaheim home games have cashed the first period over. That's what I like here. Alex, what do you think? Utah, Anaheim.
So it's funny. I have 2 plays that I like, and I might end up adding that first period over, but looking for that in game. I like Utah to score the first goal in the first period, plus 120. And if they can get on the board first, then that's where that'll be my target point to grab Anaheim plus money in game. Because I do think that the Ducks could have a shot and win this contest. But Hal in the chat knows it's coming up as well. I like the draw. I grabbed this draw. I got plus 350 earlier with this. So it's a dog and draw play, but I want to try and see if I can get plus money with the Ducks, and I think I can. I think Utah can get on the board first. So Utah first goal in the first period, plus 120, and then I'll go right to Anaheim, money line in game, and then I have the draw plus 350.
You said it. That's exactly why I'm not betting Anaheim pregame. I have a weird feeling Utah's going to get the first goal tonight. I just have that strange feeling with them, with the rest advantage, with Anaheim coming off the road trip out east in the Midwest. I think, Utah could get that and then I might be interested in Anaheim live, at a plus price if that happens. But I definitely like first period over is my only pregame bet, side or total here in this game. I don't know if I love the full game over. You've seen some of these Anaheim games, a lot of the Anaheim home games, rather. You get the 2 goals in the first period, but the full game, it stays under, and it does slow down a little bit. It's happened a couple of times in these Anaheim home games. Perlo, what are you thinking here? Mammoth, Ducks.
I'm trusting Joel Quenneville on this game. This is a Quenneville game right here. You got these kids that are coming off of 3 in a row. It's a perfect spot for Joel to get these guys back up and feeling great about themselves again and remembering what they are. I think Utah actually is coming in. Didn't they? Who did they lose to? Who did they lose to last game? I think they're the ones coming in a little bit shook here more than Anaheim. I know the number's fishy as heck, isn't it? It's so fishy that they have them up, but it was plus 110 before, and now money has come in on Anaheim here. But I like them. I do like the over, and I do like both teams to score in the first period. Anaheim could take a little bit to get their confidence back up again, but just go straight lineup here. what the heck is Utah going to do against this defense going to do? If Anaheim is coming out barreling in this game and they're back the way Quenneville wants them to play and can get them to play, and they play like we know Anaheim can play, they're going to absolutely destroy Utah here. It is going to be an absolute ass kicking. And so maybe we want to wait for the first period to see how Anaheim comes out if you want to, but I'm going to put a little bit now. I don't care about this line or whatever, this fishy line. I'm trying to figure out what the heck they're trying to do with this, why they're trying to get people to take Anaheim in this spot. I think it's more to do with the fact that Anaheim is on 3 games, has lost 3 games in a row, and they're banking on the fact that people are going to stop believing in them. I'm not stopping them believing in these guys. I'm not. This is a great team. And if you look at how they played on the road, was there ever a time in the road there where they gave up on anything? Those guys played their asses off. Every one of those losses, they still played with their heads up and they played tough. I think they come back here and do it to this Utah team and they beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, the Minnesota game was dead even. I agree with you there on that point. Yeah.
They played hard in that game. That was a terrible spot, and they played every inch of themselves in that game. Could they be tired here? They had a couple days off. They're young. They're whatever. They got Quenneville there. Quenneville's going to be just raising these guys up for this game. They're going to be coming up with the same swagger that they had at home before. And I don't see that in Utah right now, to tell you the honest truth. I don't see.
Well, as Jonathan alludes to, they've only won twice in their last 8 games, and both of those wins were over Buffalo. Yeah.
Right. So. Every time Utah comes, and that's how I had Utah before the season started. So I'm going to continue with that. Utah's going to beat the shit out of bad teams, and they're going to struggle against good teams. So and Anaheim is a good team. And if they're coming in here thinking that Anaheim's not a good team, even more of an ass kicking is coming their way. So I've talked myself into team total over for the Ducks. That's what they were doing. And I'm going to take it. Maybe it doesn't get over, but I think if it doesn't get over as a total, I don't need to. I'm just going to bank on the Ducks to come bang out here, get the in fact, I'm going to take the first period Ducks. I know you said about what Utah might come out and score the first goal, but I think at the end of it, they'll get it. I'm going to take them team total over, and I'm going to take them for the game. This is a Quenneville spot. This is a perfect spot for Quenneville to do what Quenneville does, and they're not going to be coming in here shook. I don't see it. If I'm wrong, but I don't see it.
Yeah, just regarding Anaheim, they've been great at the Honda Center. We've talked about that previously, and I'm looking back. They only first home game against Seattle, they lost 3-1, but since then, and they had a home loss to Carolina 4-1. But other than that, they've won every other home. Actually, no, that was Seattle on the road. I beg your pardon. 4-3 against Pittsburgh. The one loss was against Carolina, and then every time they've won at home, they've scored 4 goals. This Anaheim team. So it makes sense if you like Anaheim, you like the team total.
I will have the draw.
Which is
didn't they play Mrazek 2 times too? They played Mrazek twice in a row, didn't they?
Mrazek, no, he only started the Minnesota game, just the Minnesota game on that road.
He only played in the Minnesota game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, then again, you got arrested Dostal.
That's not Mrazek's fault. He played okay, and they didn't score.
There was one game in the club, because I'm late. I'm not really.
Mrazek's been better, actually, his last 2 starts.
One pick in the Columbus game I want to get out. Greaves over saves is 22.5. I think that is a way low number, and it's -110. I don't know what they're thinking. If Montreal doesn't get over that, if Montreal doesn't come out barreling here and get lots of shots on goal,
yeah.
I'm off.
And you would think so after losing the last 3 on that homestand the way they did, that they'll come out firing.
And Greaves is a good enough goaltender. I don't think he's going to get lit up today. Even if he does get 4 on him, they should have 30 shots here. 22.5 is low, so I like it.
Yeah, a lot of people liking Chris Kreider. He's had a lot of success against Utah and Vejmelka, who's going to start for the Mammoth tonight. So no arguments there at all. We've talked about Leo Carlson. We've talked about Cutter Gauthier too. Those guys have been solid. Not as much in props. I have to probably take Paterka on the Utah side, probably just because he's scored in back-to-back games. We'll see how this one goes. Yeah. A lot of good young talent in this game with both teams. So this will be a fun game to watch, actually, in the late night hours with Utah and Anaheim. Great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Check out wizardsportspicks.com. Me, Alex, Matt Robinson, great group of handicappers there. Check it out. And of course, I do the Beyond the Lines video series 2 days a week, Thursdays and Sundays. So make sure you check that out. And Matt does it on Tuesdays. So check out our guy, Matty Robb. Give him some love. He does the Tuesday Beyond the Lines videos. Wizardsportspicks.com on their YouTube channel. Check that out. Patreon.com/Ice Guys, $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, all the bonus content. We're going to have a live betcast for the month of November. Later on this month, we will announce it the day of that betcast. It'll be exclusive to our Patreon members. And, of course, our daily betting card, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. Check it out. Sign up. Again, your subscription goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. $10 per month. Get on board. What are you waiting for? Patreon.com/Ice Guys.
Also, check out the Ice Guys store at iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We got all kinds of merch. We've got hoodies, T-shirts, caps, mugs, you name it. We have it. All kinds of quality designs as well. Definitely check that one out right now. It's over at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Yes. Oh, Robert, just to clarify, we're talking about the Patreon exclusive live betcast. There will be one later in the month, okay, at a date to be announced, and we'll announce it the day of. We're going to spring it as a surprise to the Patreon members. That does not change the fact that, yes, we do indeed have our regularly scheduled free-for-all live betcast tomorrow night. There you see it on the screen. Yes, tomorrow night is a betcast night, open to everybody. Tuesday, November 18th, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you join us. DM or email me or Alex for a spot on the betcast, and we'll send you the link before it begins. So, yes, tomorrow night, Tuesday, November 18, live betcast, our second betcast of the season. Make sure you join us for that. Looking forward to it. Good card tomorrow night, too. Looking forward to.
Do you want the rest of my picks for earlier?
Oh yeah, quickly. Yeah, I got to run in 5 minutes, Perlo. So make it snappy here as far as the
Okay, I won't give any of the props out. I have over 1.5 first period in the Bruins Canes game. I have over 6 Bruins team total over 2.5. Hurricanes team total over 3.5. Obviously, I like the over quite a bit there. And Hurricanes puck line first period. The Florida, we talked about the Florida game. Which one am I missing?
Edmonton Buffalo. That's the one before you came in.
Edmonton Buffalo. I'm agree with you. I'm glad you said that because I was trying to find a way to take Buffalo there, and I'm going to take them. I'm with you. I like the plus 130 price too. It looks like a nice fishy price we can grab. I'm taking Buffalo, and I'm going to take them team total over 2.5. I'll just leave it at that. You can get the rest of my picks at Perlo's NHL POW. I've got a couple premiums today and tonight. You go over there and sub to my channel. I'm on at 11 o'clock p.m.
with
Eastern.
Rico. Check them out.
Get all with Rico. Yes. One thing I want to say though, I won't be on tomorrow on my show because we have a live betcast tomorrow night. And the reason why I won't be doing the betcast instead of my show is because I like to make money. And if you want to make money, you got to get on this freaking betcast. Pay up to $10 for the love of God. Just on that alone. It should be $10 just for the show, and they're still making money.
I thought you were going to say you're on the betcast instead because it's the better content, but no.
Yeah. So I'm going to be on. I won't be doing my show. I'll be on the betcast the whole time because I want to catch every live bet for Alex and Ian here. Get on there. Well, you got. I'm going to start calling you Alex D. Smith for draw. The guy's nailing draws left, right, and center. You got Ian over the total. Cameron hitting totals like crazy. We're probably up.
I'm the over guy, Alex. We got some. Hey, he pays the freight $10 a month. God bless him. He can do it. But we got some Patreon member named Alex Draw Smith in the Patreon.
Alex Draw
He's been there for about over a year too.
Just playing the draws alone, you guys can go. So like 10 freaking. If you're not paying $10 for this, and you're a handicapper, or you want to be a handicapper, or whatever you're doing, and if you're not willing to do it, you are an idiot. That's it. That's all I got to say.
We appreciate that, no doubt. And we think the Patreon membership is worth it for anyone that gets on board for sure. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Royal Cannabis, where the kings and queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including, of course, Royal Cannabis, royalcannabisshop.com, 20% off with promo code IceGuys. All right, bargain bin special of the night, not one but two from yours truly last night in the same game, Islanders and Avs, which was great to see if we can duplicate that. That was such a great result. I'm going with the same procedure tonight for my bargain bin special. When you get to me in just a bit, it's going to be two players from the same game. I'm going to try it again tonight, see if we have the same success. Alex, we'll start with you, though. As always, bargain bin special of the night.
Just keeping it with one, we're going to head out to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. You got the Capitals taking on the L.A. Kings tonight. And his player, he's on the third line, but he just feels like, he has a knack for getting goals in these kind of games, these kind of situations. It's Trevor Moore of the LA Kings. I like him anytime goal scorer. Got plus 420 price we like over at FanDuel for anytime goal scorer. Trevor Moore tonight for the LA Kings. That is my bargain bin special this Monday.
Trevor Moore, LA, plus 420 for Alex. Bargain bin special tonight. Perlo, bargain bin special.
I get to have three because I got a guy in the same game, and I thought he was going to take it. But I got three. I'm going to do your three from yesterday. First of all, I go to Buffalo. I like that Rogen. I love it. That's how they say it for Buffalo up on the second line. He's ever since he's come up from the AHL, that guy's got chutzpah, man. I think he's going to pot one there. You can get him for plus 350, I think it is right now. And I'm going to go to the LA game, and LaFerriere is from New Jersey, and he's pot two of the last two. He's from that Jersey area. I'm positive his family's going to be there. I think he's going to pot one for us at plus 400. And you mentioned him earlier over at Columbus. I've been waiting for him. I saw him on the top line. Is he on the second line? Shinnikov, the guy. Yep. Here's a guy that has been asked for a trade. They've been punishing him down on the fourth line. He's been getting shots. He's even been potting some down here. Now they're getting desperate for goals, and they're bringing him up. So I think he's going to pot one. That's probably my favorite out of all of them, Shinnikov to get a goal. Three bargain bins for you today. Normally don't do that, but I like all of them equal. So
I don't normally do it either, but I did it last night. Nothing wrong with it. There you go. Three bargain bin specials for Perlo, and my bargain bin specials of the night from the Edmonton-Buffalo game. Both of them. I'm going with the former player angle on their facing their former team in both instances. For Edmonton, give me Matthew Savoie, a Buffalo draft pick, traded to Edmonton, and he's on the top line with McDavid and Hyman, it looks like, tonight as well. So Matt Savoie for Edmonton at plus 360 is my one, and the other is Ryan McLeod for Buffalo, who actually scored in his last game as well, a former Oiler facing Edmonton here. So Ryan McLeod for Buffalo plus 460, and Matthew Savoie for Edmonton plus 360 for my two bargain bin specials of the night. I really like the LaFerriere one there that Perlo made as well. That almost made it as my bargain bin special as well. Best bets, Alex, what do you like for best bet?
We're going to keep rolling with draw season. Let's go with Montreal and Columbus draw. Get that price at plus 340, the best available. So we'll go Habs and Blue Jackets to go past regulation. My best bet.
Montreal Columbus draw plus 340 for Alex. Best bet. Perlo, what do you like here for best bet?
I'm going to go with a boring one, and then I'll go with a good one. The boring one is Pettersson under 1.5 shots, 12 in a row. He hasn't got shots. I don't think he's going to get any in Florida. I've got also 2 more premium props you can catch over at Perlo's NHL POW. And since I talked so much about it, I'm going to take that Anaheim Ducks over Utah. I think that price. If it's fishy and there's a reason and I have to eat it, I guess I eat it. But I think they come correct in this game.
All right, there you go. 2 best bets for Perlo. My best bet. I love doing this. Teams that are on a total streak. We did it with Montreal a bunch. We did it with Toronto a ton of times. Now it's the Vancouver Canucks on a consecutive game over streak. 9 straight overs for Vancouver. I don't trust Patera to keep the puck out. I think Florida, after only scoring 1 goal against Tampa, I think the onus is on their offense to get going. Vancouver's playing a way more up and down game and still capable of scoring too against this Panthers team. And Bobrovsky, believe it or not, has not always been shutting it down this year at times. So I think we get an over there in Florida. Canucks, Panthers over 6, -120 for my best bet for this Monday NHL card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Big day tomorrow. Daily Show live, 2 p.m. Eastern for Tuesday with me, Alex, and Maddie Robb. And then we're on with the Betcast, 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Make sure you join us for that. Looking forward to it. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week. Delayed start Mondays, but Tuesday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith and Perlo, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we are back for a big Tuesday here on the Ice Guys, starting with the Daily Show at 2 p.m. Eastern right here on the Ice Guys.